Hey, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me. So today we're going to talk about Social Security. There's a lot of questions out there. A lot of people are unsure. They didn't make the system very easy to use, but the Social Security Administration site is pretty good at helping you figure some things out. So I spent a lot of time on that, doing my own research instead of just listening to somebody else, because a lot of times what I have found is the information you get from YouTube and that kind of thing is financial people's take on why you should or shouldn't take, your Social Security at 62, why waiting to 67 is great, why waiting to 70 is better, those kinds of things. But we're not all in the same situation. We all have different needs and requirements, etc. So I wanted to run my own numbers and make some information for you folks so that you can at least get an idea what Social Security numbers look like. So these are my numbers, and I'm going to be as close to exact as I can because the algorithm they use, the system they use, is on 35 years of income, which is really weird. But I just basically did what it asked me to do. It asked me for this year's income, how much I expect to get in raises, etc. And then it figured out a number and popped it out for me. So here's my number. My 67 full retirement number is somewhere around $3,400. The next bracket, if I wait till 70, would get me to 4,200, 4,300. And if I take early at 62, that number is somewhere between 23 and 25. And I say that because it gave me two different numbers based on a $10,000 variant in income, because my income is a lot of overtime involved in it. And sometimes we work a lot, sometimes we don't work as much. So I'm kind of giving it an average of what I've been doing the last 5 years, which I know what that average is. So I use that number, give or take 10,000. So here's the situation with how Social Security works too when you take early numbers. Okay, so 62, you get 70% of whatever your full retirement number is. If you go at 63, you get 75%. If you wait to 64, you'll get 80% of that 67-year number. If you wait to 65, it gets kind of goofy. It goes to 86 and 2/3. If you go at 66, it's 93 and a third. Because they go by some goofy, you get 5/11ths of a for every month before your prime date. So, but anyway, these are close numbers. And I found it on a graph that is available on the Social Security Administration website. You have to dig to find it. So 67 is 100%. Obviously, if you go at 68, it goes up. You get plus 8%. 69 is plus another 8%. And if you wait all the way to 70, you get plus another 8%, which gives you a grand total of 124% of your 67 or your full retirement age. Now, not everybody's in the same situation, as I said. My situation is this: I have a major health issue. And despite the fact that I'm doing really good right now, that could turn at any time. So my goal has always been to try to get my spouse in the best position that I can, um, if my untimely death. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. I'm 14 years older than her. We would love to be together until we both go at the same time. We both said we're going to go at the same time so we don't have to worry about burying the other. So spousal survivor benefit basically comes down to your spouse will get whatever you end up taking. So if you take your retirement early at 62 and you die at 63, your spouse will be locked into whatever your 62 number is forever. Unless, of course, her benefit for Social Security is higher, because typically the spouse gets the higher of the two. Since the men are typically the higher income earners, not always, typically the spouse would get the higher of those two, which would be the husband's survivor benefit versus her own. And that would be the case with my wife right now. She is a teacher. She makes decent money. She's unfortunately not in a situation where she can make the kind of money that I make. So my benefit will always be higher than hers, which is good for her. My plan is to never take Social Security and to leave the whole thing for my wife. At least that's the plan, because my pension numbers are pretty decent. I get a pension supplement that will get me 65. And if I never have to use my Social Security after that, that would be ideal. And that's how I would love to plan it. So my supplement gives me an add-on to my forever pension. And that's the other part of this. My wife will be entitled to my forever pension if I take the spousal benefit program to begin with. So I will take 12 or 15% less, and then she will get the same amount after I pass forever. And that'll be great because she does not have a pension either, and she won't qualify for a teaching pension in Florida because she won't be there long enough. There you have to be 30, have 30 years or work until you're 65, and I don't expect she'll be teaching till 65, but we'll see what happens. So, I have another piece of this that I want to bring up and talk to you about, and that is the argument about taking retirement at 62 or 65 or 67 or whatever. If you are in great health and don't have any issues, I would obviously recommend that you wait as long as you can to take Social Security. But don't wait so long that you don't get any, if that makes any sense. I say that because taking it at 62 is quite a bit, 12 to $1,400 less a month. Here's the thing though, I did the math. And if I live for 5 years and I start taking my Social Security at 62, it'll pay approximately 134,000 in the first 5 years. If I wait and start taking my retirement at my Social Security at 67, that amount over the next 5 years is 198,000. So there's a huge difference, right? The problem is that with my situation, that means that I would have to live till I'm 72 without any issues. And as much as I want to pray that, put that out in the universe for God to say, I'm just trying to be as realistic about it as possible. So if I did that, that would be great. And I would obviously love to leave that higher number for my wife. So again, if I don't have to take Social Security at all, I don't plan to. I think between my forever pension, my wife working, and I can always pick up some side work to make the extra money after 65 if need be, so that I can not take Social Security. But that's why you need to know your numbers. You need to sit down and do your math. You need to look at your budget. You need to understand, what's my Social Security going to pay? If you have a pension, what do I get for that? How much is it going to be forever? Can I pay my bills? At this point, our plan was to pay all of our bills with just my pension so that whatever my wife makes can go into funding her retirement, getting her as close to that as possible. And then we will do other things based on financial situations. We're not broke, but we're not rich. And we will have the money to do the things we want to do. But how soon we can do those will depend on a lot of things. And one of those, I think, is that if I can avoid taking Social Security, at least it'll be there and it'll be better for her. Anyway, everybody has to do their own stuff. You gotta take the time to do the math. I did the math. It's not that hard, but you do have to find the information so that you know the real numbers you're working with. And ideally, hey, if I can wait and go till 70 without taking it and get 24% of what my Social Security benefits would be, which would be $4,200 to $4,600 a month. That'd be great. And that's not including the inflation rate that goes up 2-3% every year as it is. So that's just raw numbers. But that would be awesome. Anyway, as always, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one.